Good day, everyone. I am Joshua Eriberto Miguel Llames, a graduate student from Emilio Aguinaldo College. My study is entitled Solo Parents' Involvement in the Literacy Instruction of Their Children in Modular Distance Learning, Challenges and Opportunities. In 2020, the world has been struck by an invisible enemy, the COVID-19, and this has changed our lives radically without ever revealing itself directly. And in the same year, the International Association of Universities initially reported that more than a billion students across the world are affected by the COVID-19 crisis. Therefore, in order to continue the education of the Filipino students during the time of pandemic, the Department of Education has chosen to implement modular distance learning. This learning modality is currently used by most public schools since according to a survey conducted by the same department, learning through printed and digital modules emerged as the most preferred distance learning method of parents with children who are enrolled this academic year. Since education is no longer held within the schools, parents serve as partners of teachers in education. Moreover, parents play a vital role as home facilitators. Their primary role in modular distance learning is to guide their children. Thus, this learning modality has passed on a big responsibility to the parents. However, despite the efforts to assist parents in the daunting task of educating their children at home, struggles are inevitable. And true enough, as seen on the studies of Fremantle et al. 2020, Palma 2021, and Langle and Sumawang 2020, where they found out that several obstacles existed. First, because mothers carried out most home activities, learning became the second priority and was carried out only during their free time. Second, many parents or guardians need to divide their time for work and their children's education. Third, parents' lack of knowledge to academically guide their children was found to be one of the main challenges. Hence, this if these are if these parents are experiencing these hardships and challenges, how much more are the single or solo parents? Therefore, the study aims to explore and find essence on the challenges and the opportunities encountered by solo parents during the literacy instruction of their children. Specifically, this study would like to answer the following research question. One, what have been the challenges faced by the solo parents in the literacy instruction of their children? Second, what have been the opportunities encountered by the solo parents in the literacy instruction of their children? For my theoretical framework, the study is primarily grounded and posited on Vygotsky's theory of instructional scaffolding and Epstein's parental involvement model. The theory of instructional scaffolding, which Vygotsky defined as the role of parents in supporting the learner's development and providing support structures to get to that next stage or level. Also, this infers that parents provide scaffolds so that learners can accomplish certain tasks they would otherwise not be able to accomplish on their own. Furthermore, this study adheres to Epstein's parental involvement model, specifically on learning at home facet, which pertains to the provision of information and ideas to families about how to help their children at home with their learning. These theories were used as they exemplify the tenet that parents were highly influential and helpful in the achievement of learning goals of the children. For the scope and limitation, the study involved and was limited only to solo parents whose child or children are in the early elementary grades or those who are in grades 1 to 3. Moreover, the solo parents need to fall under the definition stipulated and enshrined in the Section 3 of Solo Parents Welfare Act or Republic Act 8972 of the Philippines, which states that they are those any individual who are a parent left solo or alone with the responsibility of parenthood due to legal separation or de facto separation from spouse for at least 1 year, as long as he or she is entrusted with the custody of the children. Furthermore, to qualify, the solo parents must be the ones doing the literacy instruction to their children. For the methodology, this study is a qualitative research. Specifically, it utilized the phenomenological case study design. This design is also often used with the phenomenological perspective as it is said that one of the appropriate methods to capture the experience, specifically lived experience. Smith 2007 described phenomenology as a research approach that describes the lived experience of individuals with a phenomenon. Creswell 2007 added that phenomenology explores the very essence of experience with that phenomenon. Furthermore, this phenomenological approach, fused with the case study method, allows the researcher to come to understand and make sense of intricate human experiences and the essence and the underlying structure of a phenomenon. For the research locale, this study is situated in the municipality of Famy, Laguna. It is a fifth-class municipality in the province of Laguna, Philippines, where it lies in the northeastern part of the province of Laguna. Moreover, it has a total land area of 5,306 hectares and is politically subdivided into 20 barangays. For the sampling technique, the participants were selected using the purposive sampling technique as supported by Creswell 2009 that the idea behind qualitative research is to purposely select participants that will help the researcher understand the problem and the research question. Simply put, the researcher decides what needs to be known and sets out to find people who can and are willing to provide the information by virtue of knowledge or experience. For the sample, the participants of the study were four solo parents whose child or children are in the early elementary grades or those in grades 1 to 3. This number of research participants is pursuant to the recommendation made by Boyd 2001 when he regards 2 to 10 participants or research subjects as sufficient to reach saturation. For the profile of the respondent, the first participant is Clarissa. She is a 31-year-old mother with one child studying in grade 3 and has been a solo parent for 9 years. The second participant is Mariah. She is a 36-year-old mother with one child studying in grade 2 and has been a solo parent for 5 years. The third participant is Mylene. She is a 26-year-old mother with one child studying in grade 1 and has been a solo parent for 6 years. The fourth and last participant is Katie. She is a 34-year-old mother with one child studying in grade 1 and has been a solo parent for 5 years. Moreover, all of the participants are separated with only one child. For the research instrument, the data were gathered through an unstructured or informal interview. Furthermore, unstructured interviews do not rely on a list of predetermined questions. For the data gathering procedure, it commenced with getting the consent of all participants and assuring them that the data will be treated with utmost confidentiality. Second, interviewing all the participants for 15 to 20 minutes, transcribing, coding, and then analyzing gathered data to get themes. For the data analysis technique, the data will be analyzed through thematic analysis. This data analysis method of analyzing qualitative data is usually applied to a set of texts, such as an interview transcripts. The data analysis technique, I made use of the framework by Terry et al. 2017. The first step would be familiarization with the data, the coding of the data, generating initial themes, reviewing themes, defining and naming themes, and the last step would be the writing up process. For the ethical considerations, the study scrupulously and strictly observed the following ethical considerations, such as first and foremost informed consent. The researcher obtained the permission of the participants to take part in the research study. Moreover, the participants were assured that all gathered information will be treated with utmost confidentiality, and they were also assured that their identities will be protected, as the researcher will use code names to refer to them. Furthermore, since the interviews were done through face-to-face mode, the researcher made sure that all health protocols such as wearing of face masks and face shields, observing social distancing, and frequent sanitizing of the hands and the equipment used in the conduct of the interviews. Thus, the conduct of the interviews uphold the principles of consent and non-maleficence. This simply holds that there is an obligation not to inflict harm on others. For the results and analysis, first, the challenges faced by the solo parents in the conduct of literacy instruction to their children. The themes that emerged from the responses of the participants towards the changes in literacy instruction were first, time constraints, second, insufficient and limited knowledge, and third, tough tasks. Theme 1, time constraints. All four participants or key informants mentioned and expressed the problem or dilemma on time constraints in conducting literacy instruction to their child because of work and other responsibilities. As Mariah expressed that work was really one of the reasons for the limited interaction with the child. Katie also mentioned that the allotted time for work is also now used to conduct the literacy instruction to her child. Further, she mentioned that sometimes household chores and other responsibilities limits her to conduct literacy instruction. This was also corroborated by Mylene and Clarissa when they recounted that indeed work hampered and limits the hours of conducting literacy instruction to their children, especially for Mylene when she felt tired by working and also from household chores. For the second theme, which is insufficient and limited knowledge, most of the participants revealed that insufficient and limited academic knowledge is also a challenge and problem in conducting literacy instruction to their children. As recounted by Mariah, that she also needed to read more in order to have enough knowledge to conduct the literacy instruction. Mylene also conveyed that she needed to understand the lessons on the module herself first before conducting the literacy instruction. Clarissa also further explained that many times it was difficult for her, especially that it was the first time she had seen the module, so she needed to read and understand it first. For the third theme, which is tough task, the participants or the key informants all agreed that teaching their children how to read and write or the conduct of literacy instruction is a difficult and a tough task. Mariah and Mylene plainly stated that it is indeed hard and difficult to do. Katie further explained that conducting literacy instruction her children is difficult because of the fact that every children has a unique characteristic of our attitude. Moreover, Clarissa also mentioned that literacy instruction is hard to do since she is not a teacher. This would mean that it is particularly hard due to the fact that these solo parents did not have any formal education on how to teach literacy instruction to their children. The themes that emerged from the present study are further supported by Palma 2021, when he found out that many parents or guardians need to divide their time for work and students' learning and education. Furthermore, not all parents or guardians graduated from college or received formal training in teaching, as also stressed by Fermanto 2020, where the learning became the second priority and was carried out during their free time. Moreover, Luania 2021 found out that parents indeed face challenges on the instruction towards their children because of time constraints and due to work and household chores. Likewise, in a study by Dangle and Sumawang 2020 on the implementation of modular distance learning in the Philippines, it revealed that the parents' lack of knowledge to academically guide their children is one of the main challenges brought about by the implementation of such learning modality. For the second research question, opportunities encountered by the solo parents in the conduct of literacy instruction to their children. The themes that emerged from the responses of the participants towards the opportunities in literacy instruction were first, bonding activity, second, learning experience, and third, strategic learning. For the first theme, bonding activity, all participants or key informants asserted that conducting literacy instruction to their children served as a bonding activity, which in effect led them to further know and understand the strengths and weaknesses of their children. Mylene and Katie also mentioned that literacy instruction indeed became a bonding activity and in turn made the relationship closer. Clarissa further explained that doing literacy instruction, though it is hard, has positively impacted her relationship with her child since it made her realize the strengths and weaknesses of her child. For the second theme, which is learning experience, most of the participants or key informants expressed the feeling that in the conduct of literacy instruction to their children, they themselves felt like students as they also learn the lessons. For the third theme, which is strategic learning, the participants, as the one providing the literacy instruction, also learn to strategize how they will be able to motivate their children to learn the lessons on the modules. The participants utilize different techniques in order to maximize the learning of their children. Mariah, for one, makes a schedule for the literacy instruction and makes a deal with her child in order to encourage her to study the lessons. Mylene also makes a deal with her child in order to encourage and push the child to read and study the lessons well to get a perfect score on the activities. On the other hand, Katie makes use of the reward system to motivate her child to study and learn the lessons. These themes that emerge can also be seen on Fermante et al. 2020 when they stress that parents' involvement in daily learning and positive parenting at home are a major contributor to the children's learning. Moreover, as Kahapay 2021 noted that one of the positive consequences of remote learning at home is that parents have become more involved with the education of their children. Thus, the relationships of the parents and children are closer than before. Furthermore, Bio et al. 2020 also found out that parents shared that despite a lot of struggles and difficulties, they discovered something positive. They learned together with their children in the modular distance learning. For the conclusion, it is then found out that parents experience and face several problems such as time constraints in the conduct of the literacy instruction because of work and other responsibilities of the parents, such as household chores. Moreover, the parents also mentioned the insufficient knowledge to academically support, guide, and teach their children. Furthermore, the parents also found teaching or conducting literacy instruction as tedious and a tough task, since they also have other responsibilities, and most especially because they were not formally trained to conduct instruction towards their children. Nevertheless, the parents also saw significance and positive things in the conduct of literacy instruction because, in a way, this became their bonding activity, which made them further understand the personality of their children and led them to have a closer relationship with their children. Moreover, in the conduct of literacy instruction, parents also learn from the modules and from their children. Lastly, parents learn to strategize by making deals, employing reward system, and utilizing teaching strategies in order to further maximize the learning of their children. And for the recommendation, based on the conclusions, the recommendation is offered to the Department of Education and its schools, which may launch programs to address most especially the challenges and problems mentioned above to ensure that even in the pandemic, quality education is provided. Moreover, the Department of Education may, as well as its schools, may provide supplementary materials such as video or audio recordings of each and every module to further help the students learn the lessons on the module. And that would be all. And thank you so much for listening.